Hey everyone, this is your favorite radio host, your only radio host, Corinne Lafont, and Between the Lines, broadcasting to you from Trinidad and Tobago. Hey, it's a beautiful day today. I always start my show being grateful and thankful. I am happy to be here. That's my alarm you're hearing. So I am happy to be here. I'm happy to be alive. I'm happy to see another day. I am happy to have all my senses intact, at least I think so. All my senses intact. And just be here to share with you and to have another episode with Marsha Malka. She's actually in London, not too long arrived in London. Imagine that. She was so happy to yay, she arrived in time to be able to be on the show. So I'm happy to have her on. I'm going to share a quick bit about Marsha before we go into our topic, hardships to happiness. She has a lot to share, so we have to get going quickly. Let me just tell you a bit about her. Well, it's a little bit more than a bit. Leaving the only life and country she had known, Marsha Malka's life turned upside down at the age of 17. What an age for your life to turn upside down. When her family fled the Soviet Union as Jewish refugees, stripped of their citizenship and deemed as enemy of the state. It sounds like a movie. The family was only allowed to take the equivalent of $80 each. Wow, they're rich. And the clothes on their back. With determination, with nothing like she had known before, Marsha committed to do whatever it took to turn her life around. With no money, no knowledge of the English language, no one would believe when you hear her speak, no contacts or friends to turn for help, and a very different mindset. Marsha had to study full-time while working 3 jobs in order to get ahead and achieve her dreams. Since that time, Marsha has become the best-selling author and founder of the 1-Minute Coach educational system, has worked as an executive coach for over 15 years, built a successful import and distribution company, taught business leadership at MUIC, won ballroom competition, so she dances too, and received her master's degree in higher education while raising 3 children. We share so much in common. Her journey from hardship to happiness is proof that anyone is capable of positive change. Oh my God. Marsha shows through example that nothing in life has to stop you. If anything, the challenges are what create your inner strength and resolve. This is how the 1-Minute Coach process emerged. With the need to manage emotions in small increments, Marsha discovered ways to manage virtually any situation. Her ability to move from the life of confusion and poverty to one of leadership became the foundation of her 1-Minute Coach series. With simple steps, Marsha teaches it's possible to move from a place of settling for a life of existence to one they can finally be in charge of and live fully on their terms. And now Marsha's quest and life work is showing others how to do the same. I'm really happy to have her on. It's meant for me to talk with her today. Through her book, Speaking and Executive Coaching, Marsha teaches others how to take control of virtually any situation. With the release of her latest book, The 1-Minute Coach to Mastering Emotions, readers learn simple ways to address the mounting pressures of day-to-day living. Her newest book, The 1-Minute Coach to Mastering Your Emotions, addresses a timely topic of how emotions either serve us or hold us back. Welcome, Marsha, to Between the Lines. It's great to have you.
Ah, Corinne, what an incredible introduction. Thank you so much.
Yes, it is an incredible introduction. Let's jump right into it. So, 17.
No, you're reading it and it's almost surreal. Like you're talking about this person. I'm thinking, wow,
who's that?
Who's that? I want to meet her. Yeah, because you live your life and you take it one day at a time. And if you need to survive, you find what you need to do to survive.
How do you survive? How do you survive? Somebody watches that on a movie, Marsha. That is movie. That is not real. How the hell do you survive at 17? I mean, somebody is in that at age 40, 50, and is like, take some pills, let me dead. Kill myself, whatever. 17, you're looking beautiful. You don't even look past 17. I am so serious. How the hell can you, and then turn your life around? What I try to understand is what is the hope? What it is that drives you? What it is that keeps people still thinking that it is possible, that there is hope. Yesterday I had a session at church where they talk about faith. Some people just lose hope and faith, and this is what make them not see the possibility, because they just see the present circumstances and they don't see there is hope, there is faith, it is possible, and so they end their lives. And I want this show today to move someone who may be listening and going through whatever they're going through, because everybody's going through something, don't think that the situation is so much more than you that you can't get out of it somehow. So I need you to take us back. I know it may be hard, but I'm sure you could handle it after the few years. Notice I said few. So and help us to navigate your life and how you were able to turn that around, what it is inside of you. Because I don't know if there was something outside of you, but there must be something inside. I am doing this to show you there must be something.
Yeah, it must be. And I have to say, I love your passion. It's very contagious. Wow.
Yeah.
I feel like, whoa. You said a very important word, and that's hope. And as long as there is hope, there is always a way. And that's something I learned through the years. That's not something I knew when I was 17, but something I learned through the years.
Yeah.
That as long as you have hope, even when everything seemed hopeless and impossible, in that particular moment is because your view of the situation and life is very limited. It's very limited. So there's always hope and there's always a way, and you just have to give it a little bit more time to find it. You have to believe that it's there. That's very important. I think with me, I was very, very fortunate. It's probably inborn. I always see good in everything. I always see the positive. I think it comes natural to me. It's not that I learned it. I'm sure it's also learnable because it's something that the more you practice, the better you get at it. But I always saw beauty in everything and everyone, and I like people, and I like so that definitely helped. Although the first, can't remember how long, maybe 3 months, I just cried in the pillow because I just didn't know what else to do. I didn't have friends. I didn't speak the language. I couldn't even make friends,
Yeah.
And the time that was back in 87, and now there's a lot of big Russian immigrant population in the United States, specifically Miami. But at the time, there weren't any Russian people, So when I went to college, nobody spoke Russian. So I was, I had to go with my dictionary and like a point into the toilet for every word. Explain to them, what I want. And I had to start working right away because my parents couldn't support me. They had to try and survive themselves. And I had a little brother whom they had to support. Wow. So I got a job first in audiovisual department in college, just kind of rolling those. They don't do that anymore, but at the time, the projectors, had to connect the projectors and roll them in and roll them out, and in between I was doing my homework, and then I was working in the mail room, and then I actually joined a dance company almost right away because you don't need to speak the language to dance.
Yes.
And I majored in math and minored in dance because, again, you don't need to speak the language. So that was easier.
Nice.
Yes. So then I danced for quite a while, and then I was teaching dance as well. So yes, we share that passion.
Nice. Well, we have that in common. Yeah.
Yeah, it took me about 5 years to really get over the whole shock of this major move, because Soviet Union and United States of America, they're like two opposite spectrums when it comes to mindset.
Yes.
And in most ways anyway. So for me to adjust, and I lost my sense of identity, I lost my sense of purpose. I didn't know really how to fit in. Of course I wanted to fit in because as a teenager, and anybody wants to fit in, but a teenager especially, and that's, I struggled the most, to tell you the truth. What I struggled the most with is that not having a sense of purpose. And later on in life, when I was researching, in general about life and self-improvement, and I found out that most suicide is actually done because there is no sense of purpose. Because people, there was this research, really fascinating, that they interviewed young people, students, who tried to commit suicide, but weren't successful. So they were asking, they were trying to understand why. And they came from good backgrounds, from loving families,
Yes.
good students. They had money. They weren't, from that you would assume, that something would happen and then you want to end life.
Yes.
The only common thing they had is that they didn't have a sense of purpose.
Wow.
They didn't feel, that there was some value to them, I suppose.
Wow.
And that's a really big deal.
Yes,
The
it
having a
is.
sense of purpose. On another spectrum, another research also showed that when people retire without a sense of purpose, they
Yeah.
die much sooner
Yeah.
because they don't have
Because their work life would have kept them occupied for the working years. And so now that they're not going to work every morning, they're not contributing in some way, they feel, what am I going to do?
Yeah, so understanding, feeling, and what is purpose? Purpose is our sense of contribution to the world. It is something that is bigger than us. The way it is different from, let's say, your goals or your action steps or even your long-term vision. Purpose is something is like, how do I bring value to this world?
Yes.
And
Yes.
it's very important for us to feel
That's great.
valued and needed and appreciated.
Oh yeah.
So from us, everybody actually, the more we can make people feel appreciated and valued. Even people that you assume they know you love them and appreciate them, but it's always good to tell them an extra time. Just tell them again. My life would be so different without you, or just a cashier. Thank you so much. You were so kind and understanding.
And when you don't feel valued, when somebody doesn't give you that sort of, I wouldn't want to say praise, but they don't value you, how do you deal with that?
You absolutely need this. Actually, I talk quite a bit about it in this book. This is the book you mentioned.
Yes.
The 1 Minute Coach to Mastering Your Emotion. And I'll tell you really briefly about the book, and then we can continue on this topic. This is a self-help book, and there are thousands probably out there. These days, information doesn't have as much value as it used to, because there is really an information overload. There's too many books, too many articles. It's just too much, and people get overwhelmed and sometimes just shut down.
That's right.
So the idea, I think it happens to all of us from time to time. You just get like, okay, I need a break.
Right.
So it's not about the information, which is so free to us and out there, and it's not about the knowledge that we get. It's about what we do with this knowledge. It's actually, if you are going to invest time, energy, money, and your valuable time that is limited, if you're going to invest to learn something or to listen to something, do something with it. Respect yourself enough so that you actually take action. So I wrote this book keeping in mind that everybody is busy, that there's too much anyway, and that people need to take action. And I wanted to make it as easy as possible, as precise as possible. I use accelerated learning techniques. I mentioned that I majored in math, so it's very, very like logical, transitioning into, specifically very easy to read. So each chapter is a 1 minute, just a short. Each 2 pages is one chapter, right? So if I turn the page, it's a new chapter.
Great.
And each has so on the left hand side, which corresponds to the left side of your brain, you have the actual text information that I want you to learn.
And the visuals on the right.
How and why we filter our reality, for example. Yes, this is this chapter. Then on the right hand side, which is the right side of the brain, there's an image, because the right side has to have the full picture, and specific action step as to what you can do with each little point that I make. So here, the feeling of the pleasure of feeling healthy, for example, and just the pain of failure. And somewhere here I have also about the importance of feeling valued and what to do about that.
Right.
What does it mean to master your emotions? So this makes my books and it's a series of books. That's what makes them unique. You can even use it as a reference guide, or like those angel cards some people use. Something that gives you the message for the day, and you just hold it, open it on any page. Like this one is like, why do we suffer?
Yes.
And then you read that, and it explains, and it gives you a different perspective on things and what you can do about it.
Right. So for the
Um,
person, so let's come back to when you're not valued, because we're
yes.
talking about your purpose in the world, and people take their lives because they don't see themselves having purpose. And a lot of us are seeking, and we're seeking it externally. We're looking around for the purpose.
That's it.
Is it over in that house? Is it over in this book? Is it over wherever? As opposed to internally. First to begin, how do we discover our purpose? That is a common thread in my conversations on my show. And when you do, if you do, spend the time to discover your purpose, how do you decide to take action on it? Because sometimes with your purpose, it's when you discover what your purpose is, it means to say that your value has now gone up. You realize what you are meant to do in this world, your role, and nothing should shift you from that. And there will be people who will come into your life that will try to shift you. Um, it would mean shedding, deleting, removing some of these people from your life,
Mm-hmm,
um,
mm-hmm,
distancing.
mm-hmm.
It's a lot. It's a lot. For your story, from hardships to happiness, how did you discover your purpose and navigate your way and shed and delete and remove and distance yourself from people?
Such valuable things you just pointed out.
Yeah.
That was perfect what you said, that we cannot look on the outside to find out what the purpose is, or to feel valued. It doesn't come from the outside, it comes from the inside. And people will always treat us exactly proportionately the way we feel about ourselves. If we don't respect ourselves, we're going to be disrespected. If we don't value ourselves, we're not going to be valued, and so on. So always look within. Don't try to blame others, and say, okay, am I valuing myself enough
Yes.
to not allow this to happen anymore? Something like that. What happened to me, I made a very good decision. At that time, I made a very good decision that actually helped me on my journey. And I was looking for a way to make a difference in the world. I had that desire, but I thought, what is this little Russian girl can do in this big America? Because everybody, they're so much better than me. They speak the language, they know the things. I don't know.
Yeah. You're the one that's not fitting in, right?
Yeah. Well, what can I do, to change the world? And I realized then that what I can do, and the only thing that's really 100% in my control, is to become the best I can be. Because it was logical to me. It was a logical thing. It wasn't even spiritual. It was logical. The logical thing was, if I become the best I can be, and I do whatever I need to do, to grow and to become successful, and what if everybody make the exact same decision? If every single person decided, I'm going to be the best I can be.
That's right.
This world will be a very nice place.
2000% better, if there's such a thing.
And so I started reading a lot of books on self-improvement, going to seminars, actually doing the homework. Like, if I bought audio programs from Brian Tracy, from Anthony Robbins, and there'll be a lot of things that you had to write in your journal and do this. And I've always been a good student, so I would sit and actually do everything, and that makes a very big difference. It's called active learning, and I would apply it in my life, and slowly it builds up. I remember one huge breakthrough for me is to stop feeling guilty, because guilt was a very big part of my life. I'm not sure how it got there in the first place, but I know it was there. And I remember it got to the point that even if the weather was bad, I felt guilty somehow, really, for everything. And that definitely affected relationships, how I was treated in the relationship, how I was manipulated in relationships, because, and so I remember that was part of one of the audio programs I did. And I decided from now on, I'm not going to let anybody make me feel guilty. And, people didn't get it at first. You know how you say people try to shift you or to keep you down, or because it serves their purpose, and they're confused, like, what happened? And people do that usually, and not necessarily because they don't want you to succeed, but because you moving up and improving makes them feel bad, makes them feel like they're not doing enough, and maybe they don't want to be doing it, maybe they're lazy or not interested. So you becoming successful, they want to pull you down because they don't want to feel bad about themselves, about the place where they're at. And energetically, and we're all energy, I'm sure you know. Yeah, energetically, vibrationally, unfortunately, the lower vibrations will pull down the high, the positive. So very important what you said.
Work the reverse. Why cannot be the reverse? Why the higher vibration cannot pull up? Why?
Yeah, they can probably, but I don't know. That's what I understand. And so it's very, very important to, and you can help, but it balances out. You'd go a little bit down, they go a little bit up. But so important, your environment. So important, the people you surround yourself with. The music you listen to, by the way, the music you listen to, pay attention to the words,
the wording,
the meaning, the whole thing. It all affects you. The food that you're eating, listening to the news. Yes, you want to be aware of what's happening, but don't sit all day and like have the CNN going over and over again, because that will definitely bring the vibration, the energy down. And I think our main responsibility should be, especially for women, I think, is keeping our energetic vibration high. Do whatever it takes to keep your energy up, because when your energy is up and you feel with that energy, you attract very different experiences, people, like amazing things just happen in your life. It just happens, and vice versa. You would notice, the minute like something bad happens and you go down, and then everything can just get attached to that, all the negative things. So it has to be your main job, your main responsibility, to keep your vibration high.
I'm listening to you and my mind is somewhere, I am really listening to you. Surrounding yourself with the right people is important, but sometimes people get in to that vibration, that energy field. And like you say, it pulls you down. We have to, and we sense it, Marsha. We sense it and we feel unbalanced. I don't know, you should know about Abraham Hicks and stuff like that. And you feel it. I would have felt confusion.
Yes.
I'm trying to find the words, a sort of imbalance.
Yes, but out of the vortex, as they would say.
Yeah, out of the vortex, you're just disoriented, you're upset, you're not in a place of happiness and joy. You're not feeling
you're disconnected from your true self.
Yeah, you're disconnected, and you know something is off. When I always know something is off when I am in that so-called place.
And I'm sure everybody can relate to what you're saying. And so in your case, like, how do you get back to yourself? And then I can share mine.
What I do when I first to begin, I recognize it, because you have to recognize. I talk to myself a lot and I say, why am I feeling this way? Something is off. And I recognize it and I say, no, I need to stop whatever I'm doing, because sometimes I try to do work, and I can't concentrate. And I just say no, and I stop everything. And I would put on some probably YouTube audios or things like that would bring me into a meditative state. And I say, no, I need to get back into balance. I need to get back to that place. And so I would start, whether it take me all day, all night, whatever deadlines I have to meet, it just has to stop, because it makes no sense trying to do anything else, because I'm not in that place. So I have to get back. And when I get back, whatever it is, it gives me clarity. So I start again, because I must be in a place of clarity. I must be in a place where, and you see me doing this because this is where I need to be. This is where I feel myself. So meditation, introspection, tapping into my higher source, asking, acknowledging, even, I mean, when I say acknowledging, you know where you went wrong and saying, yes, I am wrong, I should have this or that. And you just say, okay, because instead of focusing on that negative thing and being in that negative zone, you recognize and you move on and you let it go. And you're like, now that you know, you're not going to make this happen again. But there are times it end up being a repeated thing because, you know, it may be somebody who you probably have an interest in, attracted to, whatever it is, and you're trying to, I don't know, you make excuses, yeah? You make excuses. And but like I said to you before, you know, it comes to a point where like everything is showing itself to you in the vortex or out of the vortex, swirling around. And you're like, but that's the evidence. That's the evidence. What are you doing? What are you doing? You know, you're like,
it takes a lot of courage. It takes a lot of courage to see, to accept it, to say, maybe I took the wrong turn. Maybe I made a mistake, but you know, you don't need to stay. And it's never a mistake, and it's never failure, because everything is an experience and a lesson. But it takes courage to make a change, because sometimes even when you're not happy in a situation, change is often scarier than being in an unhappy situation. And so a lot of us get stuck
in the
and say,
unhappy.
well, you look for excuses, look for reasons. Maybe it'll get better. Maybe this, because there was some happiness, and so even though we know deep down that it's a waste of time, but eventually, you know, you come to the right decision, and it's always the right time. You know, I operate from the belief that everything happens for a reason. Everything happens exactly as it should and when it should. Yeah, and whether it's right or wrong is not important. The important thing is that it makes me feel good to believe that. And you know, and if we're gonna,
that's what Abraham said.
Believe in something, if we're gonna believe in something, may as well believe in something that makes
you feel
good.
Yeah, and like I tell people, I don't care. I don't give a shit. This makes me feel good.
Exactly.
This makes.
No, that's it. Life is like that.
I cannot explain it. Don't ask me to justify or scientifically try. I ain't going there. This makes me feel good.
Life is hard as it is.
Yes.
We need to make it harder for ourselves by beating ourselves up, by giving ourselves negative feedback, by keeping ourselves down. We don't need to do that. This is us, you know, So
one of the things that I realize with me is that my brain, my mind goes into overthink. I overanalyze, and I hear all the conversations going on in my head. And I said, okay, Corinne, this is one area you need to work on. Stop overthinking. Stop having these over conversations. Because I'm like that. I'm built like that. So for example, if I'm working on a project, I always look at all the possibilities. I have to in the work that I do. And I have to think of, what if this, what if that, what if. So when I'm writing my proposals, I have to think of all the possibilities. So when I'm putting forward a proposal, the person who's reading it can see, yes, she has taken into consideration this, that, and that. So my mind always goes into what if, this, that, and have the contingencies as much as possible. So I drain myself of that. So my mind in even personal relationships goes into overthinking. And I'm like, no, I need to stop overthinking. I need to see, I need not even see, feel what is happening, what is causing that imbalance based on the feeling. Because not everything you see is real. And I tell people, your eyes are seeing things. Yeah, it's right there, but it may not be real. It's not everything. Yeah,
nothing. It's all a projection of what we believe, what we expect.
Yeah, it's a projection. And like you say, projection, you know, I remember those long time movies with those reels. You're just projecting whatever the person wants you to see. They project that. I love that, you know, Marsha. That comes back to what we were talking about before the show. They're projecting. They're projecting a certain image and give you the impression this is who they are.
Yes. And so coming back to some, you know, you, let's say, having a certain experience.
Yeah.
If you're having that experience, is because for some reason you have created or manifested it, whether it's because you really, really wanted it, or whether it's because you really, really did not want it. But whichever way, you gave it energy, you gave it focus, you've created it. So if you created it, then say, okay, why did I create this? If it's something negative, or you say, why did I manifest this? What is the reason? What am I to learn? What am I still not getting? Everything is a gift. Everything, every single experience, and that's what we're here for as human beings, to experience different emotions. You say, why am I feeling these emotions? Why am I experiencing it? What triggered it? What created it? And what can I do differently if you don't want to feel it anymore? How can I release this emotion? Let's say the emotion of abandonment, for example, or the emotion of being a victim, being victimized. It's an emotion that gets stuck in us, and then things happen in our life over and over again that we keep feeling victimized, and then we can talk about it, and maybe it gives us a sense of value as well, in a way, in a negative way, because you get attention that way. You gotta stop and think: do I want to continue experiencing these things, this roller coaster of things, or do I want to experience something different? And if you want to experience something different, then you just look for ways. Most likely, from the place you created the problem, you will not find an answer. That's not, I didn't say that. Albert Einstein said that. You cannot resolve a situation from the place it was created. You need to get out of it and listen to this kind of podcast, read books, listen to speak to somebody who might give you a different perspective. You cannot do it through thinking, because your thinking is all in the same place. It's all in the same cup. And it's just going round and round and round in circles, and you're just getting more frustrated and angry and upset or disappointed. You need to get out of that situation and look for different views, different ways.
I just switched screens here. I mean, we're still on the screen, but I wanted to showcase your website because we're coming up to the end of the show. Okay. And this is you with your beautiful self there. Oh, my goodness. Yeah, and so what I want to showcase is that book. How can persons get a copy of your book here?
If you go scroll down a little bit, there's a link.
Scroll down a little? Yeah. Oh yeah, here we go. So you can get the Kindle version or the paperback version. Yeah, just released on Amazon. Are you also doing signed copies and sending out by chance?
To you?
If anybody, no. So they just get done. No, that's fine. Some people do that, some people may do that, because that would require you to ship it out personally as opposed to
I haven't been doing that, but if somebody wants to send me a message and come up with a nice story as to why they need one, I can do
it. Wonderful. So here you are. So tell us a bit about your services that you offer. Let's look here.
Well, I do one-on-one coaching. I do group coaching. I've got this is my second book. I have another book, The 1 Minute Coach, Change Your Life 1 minute at a time.
Right.
It could be on Amazon.
That's not bad. 1 minute at a time.
Yes. I think the best way is, like, if you sign up to my newsletter here, then you would be you will stay on top of what I'm doing.
On top of everything, yeah. Because
if I'm doing a speaking engagement or a seminar or something, that you would know.
Good. So
and also on the social media, LinkedIn, Facebook, and all that. Yeah.
Oh, here, Facebook and Twitter and LinkedIn. Yeah, those are the three main ones. All right. So let me go back to the homepage. So from hardship to happiness, what we want people to learn is that, I mean, you did it from age 17, and you had more challenges than what other people would have had. You're dealing with language barriers, culture, a whole lot of things. Moving to a new country. Some people are in the same country, speak the language, and they still can't make it. You did it from a different country, coming into a new country. So, and fleeing your country, and I mean, oh my God, I can just, I mean, it's like a movie, like I tell you, to me. So to move from hardship to happiness, the one word that comes to me is, two words, it's possible. I remember Les Brown always preach that. It's possible. It's possible. And I always keep saying that in my mind. It's possible. It's possible. Nothing, especially now. I mean, long ago, old school thinking, you would think that's not possible. But nowadays, anything is possible.
And you're never put in a situation without giving the tools to overcome it. Never.
Oh, I don't have to say anything after that, Marsha. Honestly, no. I think I should just shut up after that.
No, if you don't mind, I would like to finish with the exact words you started. And I loved what you said when you first started saying.
I can't even remember what I said, but go ahead.
You said when you woke up this morning, you felt grateful for the gift of another day,
Yes.
for being able to use all your senses to appreciate this incredible world.
Yeah.
To walk to the bathroom, to make a phone call, to talk to me, and that's what life is about. It's paying attention to these kind of little things, and not little, because they make up life.
Yes.
And if you can, even at your hardest, lowest points in life, if you just remember to give gratitude for the fact that you have been given another day, no matter how hard and how much you might not want this day, you're given this day. It's a gift. It's a gift to find a way to get stronger, to get better, to get out of this situation, and then feel like you can do anything. Because if you can get through this, you can do anything.
Yeah. And it's amazing, at the moment, you may think it's so hard, but the time, you talk about 1 minute, the time ticks, and you're like, I managed to survive today. And then another day come and you're still alive. I managed to survive another day. And another day. And before you know it, it's a month. It's 6 months. It's a year. It's 2 years. And you're like, I'm still here. Thank you. I'm still here. Thank you. And this is how I look at life. Just taking it one moment at a time. One second at a time. Stopping to enjoy things. Like right now I'm hearing the birds, I'm seeing the trees, I'm seeing it swaying. I'm like, yes, I am just in awe of all of this. I just go with it. I live a life now. I mean, I've always been very free-spirited. I go with my feeling. I tell you, Abraham says, and in her teachings, there's one common thread. Don't matter what she teaches, one common thread. And I listen to her recordings. I listen to Wayne Dwyer. I listen to these people. One common thing. Do what makes you feel good.
We can end on this one. That's it.
Do what makes you feel good.
Yeah, give me 5.
Give me 10.
That's it.
Do what makes you feel good. And I want to say that with a little disclaimer. There's some people that may take that to an extreme without impacting somebody's life or trespassing, that kind of thing. But you feel to do something that brings you joy and happiness. Yes. You have work to do, hell yeah. But something says, just take a walk in the park. Just sit down there on that seat and you don't know why you may be told to do that. Just do it. Just do it. And just take it in. Take it in. You're supposed to call a friend. Just do that. It brings you joy. Just do what makes you feel good, people. Thank you, Marsha.
Thank you, Corinne. It was really fun.
Thank you, Marsha. I do appreciate having you on my show, Between the Lines. I want to say how much I love you. We just met, but I tell people how much I love them.
I love you too.
I love you, and I have to keep in contact with you, Marsha. We share so much in common. True. I don't care where in the world you are. Thank God for technology. We can talk like this. We can see each other and talk. We can text, we can do whatever. Nothing is impossible. And I look forward to learning more from you.
And I from you.
Yes, thank you. And I hope the listeners have taken what they need from what we discussed. Not everything is meant for you. Some may be for you, some may be for somebody else. So feel free to share. And take action. That's the key thing. Taking action. Just listening to us, that's fine. That's great. But taking action is important. Thank you once again, Marsha, for being on Between.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.